Good morning, students. Today we will learn about verbs. Verbs, first of all, we will have a look at what are verbs. So, verbs, these are the words that tell us what something or someone does, that are known as verbs. That basically means the action that is being done by something or someone, that is known as verbs. So, a verb tell us what is the subject in a sentence, what the subject is doing, and what the subject is possessing means what the subject has on its own, what action does the subject do, what action the subject is doing, what work the subject is doing. The verb tells us that, and what it does and what it has, what it possess means what it has. So verbs express action, being, and possession. Verbs tell us about three things. First one is action, the work that is being done. Being is MR, helping verbs, and possession, what it is having. Being means what it has. Now we will have a look at the three things. Verbs, it express actions. Possession means has, haven't, had. And being verbs means is MR, was, or were, the time when the action is being performed, or when the action was performed. In the actions, action means works, what works are being done. Action could be like, for example, fish swim is an action. I wrote a letter. Here I is the subject. I is the subject that is doing which thing. The work that is being done by I is wrote. A letter is the object here. Second one is possession means what the subject is having, like what a person is having or what a thing is having. It is represented by has, have, and had. I have 32 teeth. These 32 teeth are mine, so this is my possession. Leela had long hair. So we are telling about a girl whose name was Leela and she was having a long hair. Her hair was long, so it is her possession. So we represented it as Leela had long hair. Had is the possession verb. Being verbs, that is MR and was were. Tarun was ill yesterday. The time being means that is telling the time when the action was done. That is Tarun was ill yesterday. Now we will now in the next slide we will have a look at some of the actions are given to us, and we have to select the actions and write it in the blanks given below. First is dash at all these beautiful paintings. Look is an action, so we will write look at all these beautiful paintings. Tarun dashed all the juice in the carton. Tarun finished all the juice in the carton. Like the carton was having a lot of juice, Tarun finished all the juice. The leaves dashed noisily in the wind. Rustled. Rustled means to make voices. School dash at 8 a.m. School begins at 8 a.m. The cat was dash on the top of the wall. The cat was sleeping on the top of the wall. I dash a book from the bookshop. I bought a book from the bookshop. Chaya baked a loaf of bread yesterday. The bus was driving away when we reached the bus stop. So these all were the actions that we wrote in the blanks given. Now the next is the verbs be and have. Second are the words be and have. Now all the verbs, as we know, verbs are also known as action words or action verbs, but all the verbs are not action verbs. Some verbs, they tell us what someone or something has, like possession. Be and have are basically possession verbs, so they tell us what somebody is having or what something is having with it. So is, am, are, was, were, these all are the different forms of be. Be is represented by is, am, are, and was, were. These show, the is, am, are, and was, were, they show what someone is, what something is. For example, Priya is kind. They basically show the quality, you can say. For example, Priya is kind. I am hungry. You were late. Kind, hungry, and late, these represent the qualities of a person. So these are represented with is, am, and were. So that are the forms of be. Is, am, are, and was, were, they are also used as doing verbs. Doing means performing some action. These are also known as helping verbs. As we all know, is, am, are, was, were, these are also known as the helping verbs that are used with the tenses. So when we use them in this way, like Nina is walking to the school, now like we are telling what is Nina doing. Nina is performing an action called walking, and with the help of when we use the present continuous form of a tense, when we represent the action that is performed in the present time, in that with that we use the helping verbs is, am, and are. And similarly, the action that we did in past, that was completed in past, past continuous tense, with the past continuous tense we use the verbs was and were. Exemplify, I am watching, to give an example, I am watching a movie, or he was sitting on a bench. Nextly, has, have, and had, they tell us what someone or something has, means possession. They tell us like I am having a book, I have a book, I have long hair, she has beautiful pencil. All these things represent that we have something with us, so that are represented by has and have. They are also known as doing verbs and helping verbs also. For example, as I have given you example, I have a mobile phone, I have a pencil. Sheila has a book. The children have left for school. Anu has gone home. These all are the uses of has and have. Like Sheila has a book, it is representing possession. Children have left for school, that is here have is used as the helping verb. And Anu has gone home, here has is also used as a helping verb. Now in the in the next sentences there are is, am, are, was, were. All these words are given in the brackets. We have to tick the correct verb and then put it as the answer. What is or am in the box? We are talking about what is or am in the box, so answer would be is, because am is always used with I. The box is or are for putting away the things I don't want. Box is representing one entity, so with singular we use the verb is. So answer would be the box is putting away the things I don't want. What are or have you going to put in the box? I am asking you in that box. You means I am asking you something. When I have to ask you with the word you, with the pronoun you, we always use are. What are you going to put in the box? I has or have some old clothes that are too small. With I, we always use the helping verb have. So answer would be I have some old clothes that are too small. What is are you planning to do with the books on the bed? Similarly, as I've already told you that with the word you, we always use are. So it would be what are you planning to do with the books on the bed? Next is the verb do. Nextly, we will learn about the verb do. Do, did, and does. These are the forms of verb do. Do, does, and did. These are the next forms of the verb do. This verb is both an action verb and a helping verb. Do is used as an action verb also. Do means to do work. And helping verb also. Like whenever we need to write a sentence, we can use it as a helping verb also. When we use it as an action verb, when we need to use it as an action verb, when we need to represent it as an action, it as a work, so we add is, am, are with the doing word, with this work do. Before the word do we add is, am, and are. For example, I am doing my homework. Do plus ing, doing, present continuous form. Along with it I use the word helping verb am. He is doing his homework. Okay, so when we use do as a helping verb, previously we have learned when we use the word do as action verb, we add is, am, are before it. Now if we would use it as helping verb, we use do, did, does before the action verb. Before the action verb, before the work, we use do, does, or did according to the tense. We also add not to make the negative sentences. If we want to make a negative sentence, we just add not. Firstly we will write do, does, or did, then we will add not. For example, I don't like apples. If we want to ask questions that needs to have an answer yes or no, by starting a sentence with yes or no, we can start the sentence with the help of do, does, or did. If we want the answer to be a yes or no answer, it could be do, does, or did at the starting of the sentence. That is a question sentence. Do you have any apples? Do you like to have tea? Yes, nextly we will fill in the blanks using do, does or did. Do or does you have any money? Students, every time whenever there is you, we always use do. For you, we always use do. Do you have any money? Does or did Geeta give you my message? Here, did would be the answer. Does is also correct, but did would be the answer because um, they are representing past. That did Geeta give you my message? They are two persons, for example, they are talking. That one person is asking whether the girl has given the message to the other person or not, so it is the past thing, so the answer would be did Geeta give you my message. I do not understand the question. I'll always use do with I. Shahid dash not swim well. Whenever there is a name of any person, we use the helping verb does. So Shahid does not swim well. Renu does not know the answers. As we have already learnt in the fourth one, Shahid does not swim well. Nextly, Renu does not know the answers. Yes, students, next is the subject verb agreement. So we will learn about the subject verb agreement now. First of all, let me tell you that a sentence always comprises of two parts. One is the subject and the another one is the verb. Subject means the person or the thing that is doing the action, that carries out the action of the verb, means that is doing the action. Subject is the one, maybe a person or a thing, that does the action, that completes the action. And it may be a person or a thing, it may do the action, like the person is doing the action, or it is a be verb, or it has something, it is a possession verb also. Like Shubham plays in the garden, Ravi is my little brother. Here is the verb used, and plays means does. Plays here, now in the first example, Shubham plays in the garden. Here the word is does. Plays means he is doing what he is doing, he is playing. Now in the subject verb agreement, the thing is that if the subject is singular, the verb should also be singular. Verb here is mr, was, were. Okay, so if the subject is singular, we have to make sure that the verb should also be singular. For example, Varun is playing football, so Varun is a subject here and the verb used here is. So Varun is also singular and the verb is also singular. Secondly, if the verb is plural, if the subject of the sentence is plural, the verb should also be plural. Like Varun and Harsh. Now there are two persons. One is Varun, other one is Harsh. Two persons. That means the plural should the verb should also be plural. For two persons we use the verb are. So are is also a plural. So that is the subject verb agreement. With you and I, we always use the plural verb. Whenever we are talking about I and you, we will always use the plural verb. You are happy today. I am happy today. I swim very well. So this is the subject verb agreement. Now we will underline the correct verbs. Akhil paints in his spare time. Whenever we are talking about one person, always the verb is plural. So Akhil paints in his spare time. Nina talk or talks. Nina is one person, so it would be talks to her grandmother daily. Cats. Now whenever there is plural, remember one thing, whenever you are talking about a single person, you are talking about one person or one thing, then the action word would be plural every time. But this doesn't come under the subject verb agreement. Here we were talking about in the subject verb agreement, if the subject is singular, verb should be singular, and if the subject is plural, verb should also be plural. But when we are talking about when there is a singular, when there is one person, one animal, one thing, if you are talking about that, then the action word means the work that the subject or the item is the person or the item is doing, that would be the plural. And when there are more than one persons or more than one animals, then always the work should be in singular form. As Akhil is one person, so the work Akhil is doing should be plural. Akhil paints in his spare time. Secondly, Nina talks to her grandmother daily. Nina, single person, so the work should be in the plural form, so it should be talks. Now cats. Cats means many. Plural form, so the work done should be in singular form. Cats sleep for more than 12 hours in a day. Leela and Ritika, two persons. Two persons means the work should be singular. Leela and Ritika look smart in their uniforms. A hot wind called Loo blows in the summer months in North India. Now, hot wind, we are talking about one thing only, so the work should be plural. So, a hot wind called Loo blows in the summer months in North India. So yes students, this was all about verbs. I hope you have learnt about the verbs very well. Thank you and have a nice day.